صلوات اللهم صل. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قال دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام وقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بانكسار يماني فغتيني به فأتيته بانكسار يماني فغتيته به وسرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلأله كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحتان طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتأذنونني أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. وقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحتان طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده والسلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتأذنونني أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. وقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحتان طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عم رسول الله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتأذنونني أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب نواي قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيته نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتعذنوني أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بذعتي، قد أذنت لك فدخلت تحت الكساء، فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ بي رسول الله بترافع الكساء وأومأ بيد يمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاستي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم، أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن صالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم، إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مذحيا ولا خمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إن في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتعذنوني لا نهبط إلى الأرض لا أكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبت الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، ألعني الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويكون لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مزحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لأن أدخل معكم فهل تأذنوني يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي أبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجوس حاض تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله؟ فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرون هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفي جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا. ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفلهم من محافل أهل الأرض، وفي جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيه محموم إلا وفرج الله حما، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما، ولا سالم حاجة إلا وأخذ الله حاجتا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسعنا وكذلك شيعتنا، فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآله اور بآواز بلند نعرے صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآله. سلام کے چند بند ہیں والد صاحب کا ہوا کلام. حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تو نے، حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تو نے. ہم آدمی تھے کہ انسان بنا دیا تو نے. فنا سرشت کو در سے بقا دیا تو نے. فنا سرشت کو در سے بقا دیا تو نے. سلیقہ جینے کا مر کر سکھا دیا تو نے. حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تو نے. تیرے خزانے میں کیا کچھ نہیں تھا اے مولا. تیرے خزانے میں کیا کچھ نہیں تھا اے مولا. بقائے دین کی خاطر لٹا دیا تو نے. بقائے دین کی خاطر لٹا دیا تو نے. حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تو نے. علی نے کیسے اٹھایا تھا باب خیبر کو. علی نے کیسے اٹھایا تھا باب خیبر کو. اٹھا کے لاش اکبر بتا دیا لاشے اکبر بتا دیا تم نے حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تم سوال بیعت فاسق نہ اٹھ سکے گا کبھی فنا کی گود میں ایسا سلا دیا تو نے حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تم قرآن و آل ہیں دو ڈور ایک رسی کے قرآن و آل ہیں دو ڈور ایک رسی کے ارے بلند نیزے پہ ہو کر بتا دیا تو نے حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تم وہ صرف سجدہ نہیں تھا زمین کربل پر وہ صرف سجدہ نہیں تھا زمین کربل پر قسم خدا کی کہ کعبہ بنا دیا تو نے حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تو مختار کرو رگڑ کے سر تیرے قدموں پہ سرفراز ہوا حقیر تاج کا رتبہ بڑھا دیا تو نے حسین کیسا کرشمہ دکھا دیا تو نے ہم آدمی تھے کہ انسان بنا دیا تو نے حسین کیسا کرشمہ صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وآلہ فاتحہ بسم اللہ صلی علی محمد وآل محمد اے سوگوارو آہو ایک اور صلوات بھیجو اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل شہرا جہان میں حسنے عسکری کا ہے نقشانگی عرش کی انگشتری کا ہے کونین میں یہ گل چمن حیدری کا ہے، در یتیم معدن پیغمبری کا ہے، در یتیم معدن پیغمبری کا ہے۔ ارے مظلومیت مثالے جناب حسین ہے، اور دبدبے میں فاتح بدر و حنین، اور دبدبے میں فاتح بدر و حنین ہے۔ پر معتمد نے قہر کیا وہ مصیبتہ، ایسے ولی کو زہر دیا وہ مصیبتہ۔ ایمان کے گھر کو لوٹ لیا وا مصیبتہ، خون جگر حرم نے پیا وا مصیبت، ارے خون جگر حرم نے پیا وا مصیبتہ۔ پھاڑا کفن نبی نے علی ننگے سر ہوئے، بچپن میں ہائے مہدی دی بے پدر ہوئے، ارے بچپن میں ہائے مہدی دی بے پدر ہوئے۔ ارواح پنجتن کو ستایا ہزار ہے، جنت میں مصطفیٰ کو رلایا ہزار ہے۔ تربت سے فاطمہ کو اٹھایا ہزار ہے، قبر شاہ نجف کو ہلایا ہزار، ارے قبر نجف کو ہلایا ہزار ہے۔ گلستان میرے میں ہوتا تھا جس وقت بین کا، یا کربلا میں ہلتا تھا مرقد حسین کا، یا کربلا میں ہلتا تھا مرقد حسین کا۔ حیرت ہے کیوں زمیں پہ نہ عرش اولا گرا، اس ظلم سے امامِ مشکل کشا گرا۔ عباسیوں پہ کیوں نہ فلک جا بجا گرا، بالائے خاک تاج رسول خدا گرا، ارے بالائے خاک تاج رسول خدا گرا۔ سر اپنا کھولے سوگ میں آل رسول نے، جنت میں سر سے پھینک دی چادر بطول، ارے جنت میں سر سے پھینک دی چادر بطول نے۔ لکھا ہے جب امام ہوئے عازم جنا، ایک دفعہ سامرے میں قیامت ہوئی عیاں، ارے دولت سرائے شاہ سے آنے لگی فغان، لو مومنو یتیم ہوئے صاحب الزمان، ارے لو مومنو یتیم ہوئے صاحب الزمان۔ سرگرم سلم چاروں طرف بدقسال ہے، اور ہے پھینک مہدی دی خون رسال، اور ہے پھینک مہدی دی خون رسال ہے۔ سایہ نہ باپ کا سایہ نہ باپ کا نہ کوئی بھائی ساتھ ہے، سر پر امام عصر کے بس حق کی ذات ہے۔ اس بے پدر کی سمت کسے التفات ہے، اب شرم اہل بیت کی زہرا کے ہاتھ ہے، اب شرم اہل بیت کی زہرا کے ہاتھ ہے۔ ارے مردے کے گرد شور جو نوحہ کا ہوتا ہے، معصوم پھوٹ پھوٹ کے بابا کو روتا، ارے معصوم پھوٹ پھوٹ کے بابا کو روتا ہے، اب اس طرح سے ہلے خبر کرتے ہیں بیان، ماتم زراعیں بیبیاں کرتی تھی یہ فغاں، ارے نہلا چکے جو لاشیں مولائے دو جہاں، کفنایا اس کو رخت مطہر کے درمیان، ارے کفنایا اس کو رخت مطہر کے درمیان، آواز آئی فاطمہ کہ شور شین کی، سب شیعہ روئے بے کفنی پر حسین، ارے سب شیعہ روئے بے کفنی پر حسین کی، اللہم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. Excellent. Good job, guys. MashaAllah, kids, excellent. Alhamdulillah. بیٹا خاص ہے. مومنین آپ لوگ گزارش ہے کہ please come as much forward as possible with loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I'd like to request Moulana Hussain Razavi to please come start the speech. Please one loud salawat for Moulana. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
There's a request for Surah Al-Fatiha for all of the Shuhada of Islam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wa salamu ala ashraf al-anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Khatim al-Nabiyyin Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعل الله الآخر أهدي مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. صلوات على محمد وعلى محمد. صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Today's majlis is a conclusion of the majalis of the year 1439 of the Islamic calendar after Hijri. For the last 2 months, we've been gathering here, we've been congregating here, we've been assembling here, remembering Imam Hussein, we've been crying for him, we've been recalling what were the motives for why he took this stand against Yazid and against the government of the time. As we come to the conclusion of this season of Azah, it's important that we undergo a post-Muharram assessment. That these months, these weeks, these hours which have passed, in which we've been spending in remembering Imam Hussein, we've been naming, we've been saying his name, we've been crying for him, what have we achieved? What have we gained? We've been coming here, we come to the Sufra of Imam Hussein. What have we gained? How have we changed? How have we developed? Have we become better people? When we come into this month of Muharram, we come in a state where we're broken down. We come in a state where our hearts are shattered, where we're wandering aimlessly. But when we come to Imam Husayn's month of mourning, we get this energy within us. We get this redirection within us. We get reminded that this is the direction that we're supposed to be going. We get told and we understand that this is the message of Imam Husayn. Go on this path. Don't go on another path. If you want to go to Imam Husayn, then go on this path. And the Masa'ib and the message of Imam Husayn, it gives us velocity. It gives us momentum. We gain speed on this path of Imam Husayn. After this weeks of mourning of Imam Husayn, after these 2 months and 8 days of mourning Imam Husayn, there should be a change within us. And this should not be an ordinary change. Rather, this should be a radical change. Our lives should be transformed. Our lives should be completely altered. The way that we were before we came into this month of Muharram is different than how we should be now. When we came into this month of Muharram, Salat didn't have that meaning. But when we come and listen to these majalis of Imam Husayn and we pray now, the Salat should have a depth. When we come and we read the Quran, maybe we didn't understand the meanings of the Quran, but throughout this several weeks of learning and coming and listening to these speeches of Imam Husayn, we got some depth, we got some profundity in our recitation of the Quran. We're no longer shallow, we're no longer superficial, because we've heard the message of Imam Husayn. And this true message of Imam Husayn, where does it manifest itself? The message of Imam Husayn, it manifests in our actions. It doesn't manifest itself in tears coming out. The tears that come out of our eyes during the month of Muharram and Safar, these tears, they're not for Imam Husayn. These tears are actually, we're crying for our own selves. We're crying for our own state. That we are in such a bad state that this is what the tears are supposed to change. They're supposed to change our lives. They're supposed to change our thoughts. They're supposed to change our outlook, the way that we approach things. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If we are the same as we enter this month of Muharram, and this majalis and this azah of Imam Husayn, and we didn't show any type of improvement, then it means that all of what we've spent, all of the energy we've spent, and all of the time we've spent, it's been a wastage if there has been no change within us. If we are the same people when we came in as we are the people leaving this month of Muharram and Safar, then the message of Imam Husayn hasn't impacted our hearts. The message of Imam Husayn hasn't changed our lives. And from that side, there is no shortage. From that side, there is no weakness. The flaw is from within us. If we cannot change our lives, if we cannot change our attitudes, Imam Husayn's message is pervading everywhere. The fault is from within us. It's that we haven't understood the message of Imam Husayn and we haven't implemented the message of Imam Husayn. After this month of Muharram and Safar, our lives should be enriched. Our lives should have a different meaning. Our lives should have more value. If we have truly understood Imam Husayn, then we have understood the Imam of our time, the Imam Mahdi Ajallahu Ta'ala Farajuhu Sharif. We heard so many stories of the companions of Imam Husayn, what they did, what they sacrificed, how they were able to change their lives, even at the last moments. We heard the story of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. The last moment he heard Imam Husayn, and what did he say? This is a message which each and every one of us can understand. To know the message, to know the companions of Imam Husayn, is to also know the companions of Imam Mahdi. If we know what qualities and what characteristics were in Imam Husayn's companions, then those same qualities and those same attributes are going to be in Imam Mahdi's army. It's going to be among Imam Mahdi's companions. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Hur, when he came on the day of Ashura and when he saw that what was happening, what did he say to himself? What that changed himself? He says, "Ukhayyir nafsi bayna al-jannati wan-nar." He says that I see myself between heaven and hell, the fire of hell. He's like, which way do I want to go? Which direction do I want to go? Which decision do I want to make? Where do I want to end up? Just a change in the way that we think, it can completely transform our lives. We've been coming to this month of Muharram and Safar. We've been hearing speeches, and hearing is good. But what needs to happen is that we need to think. We need to think and we need to reflect and we need to contemplate, how is that message of Imam Husayn, how is it changing my life? How is it altering my life? How is it making my life more enriched? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ya ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this introspection and this self-assessment is something which is very important. It's something which each and every one of us needs to do. If we get some time, just sit down and think about what have I learned, where have I spent my time, what lessons have I learned that I didn't know before, what instructions did I hear, what stories did I hear. All of these things we're supposed to think about it and we're supposed to reflect about it. There's a saying from Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, that man istawa yawmahu fa innahu maghbun, that a person whose 2 days are equal, are same, 2 consecutive days, if they're the same, if a person acts the same way as he acted yesterday, if a person behaves the same way as he behaved yesterday, and today he behaves the same way, then this person is maghboon, that this person, he is ruined, he's in utter loss, he's deceived, he's a failure. The Imam, what is he doing? He's instilling this attitude within our minds that our lives should be constantly changing, our lives should be constantly improving. For 2 months and 8 days we've been coming here in the month of Muharram and Safar and Rabi al-Awwal. If these 2 months and 8 days are the same as we were before, then we are bigger losers. If 2 days cannot be equal, then what to say about 2 months and 8 days? After spending these days and coming and hearing the words of Imam Hussain, our lives should be different. Our lives should be transformed. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali. We should ask ourselves that this path of Sirat al-Mustaqim, how much have we traveled? How much have we progressed? How much have we advanced? Are we at the same place that we were when we started the month of Muharram? Or have we gone a little bit further? Did we regress? Did we go back? Are we moving in that direction? Are we on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim, and na'udhu billah, are we on this path of Sirat al-Mustaqim, but are we moving backwards? Are we moving to our goal? Are we moving to our destination? This is something that we need to ask ourselves. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that these 2 months and 8 days which we've been remembering Imam Hussain, that these hours and these days, they were not spent in waste, that they were spent in getting closer to Allah, in changing our lives, and improving our lives. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. The 8th of Rabiul Awwal, it marks the death anniversary of our 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Imam al-Askari, his life was only 28 years. He was one of the youngest Imams who passed away. And his Imamat was only for 5 years. So between the ages of 23 to 28, the responsibility of the Imamat was placed on his shoulder. During his life, we find that Imam, he's living in a very difficult time. It's a very turbulent time. The Bani Abbas are there, and they know that there are going to be 12 Imams, and they're very vigilant on watching them. They're surveilling them. They're watching their followers, who's visiting the Imam, who's talking to the Imam. Imam is under a lot of pressure. He's under house arrest, trial and tribulation. All of a sudden, he's living in Samarra, and the Caliph calls him to Baghdad. He wanted to create this turbulence in his life. He wanted to create this unsteadiness in his life so that the Imam could be detached from his followers. But despite all of these restrictions, despite all of these hardships, Imam, he was able to complete that responsibility of Imamah, which was the guidance of the people, which was the guidance of the Muslims. Despite all of these pressures, despite all of these restrictions, Imam went out of his way to talk to the Shia, to talk to the believers, to talk to the Muslims. And the contributions of the Imam are innumerable. We cannot count them. But one of the most important contributions that Imam gave to the Shia community was a tafsir which is called Tafsir al-Imam al-Askari alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This book is a compilation of the durus, of the lessons which Imam gave to his Shia, to his companions about the Quran, different commentaries of the Quran. And so several different companions, some of them, they wrote down a summary, a synopsis of what the Imam is saying in his dars. Others, they would take the exact words and they would write it down, and they compiled it, and it is now known as Tafsir Imam al-Askari. Imam Askari, he knows that the Imams are coming to an end. He knows that there's 12 Imams after he's the 11th Imam, and after he passes away, the 12th Imam is going to go into a ghaiba. Imam is preparing the minds of the people. that when you do not have access to the Imam, what do? We know that Hadith al-Thaqalain says that the Prophet, he's leaving behind two weighty things, the Quran and the Itra, the Ahlul Bayt. The Ahlul Bayt refers to all of the 12 Imams. That's coming to an end. That's coming to a point where the access is going to be restricted, where people cannot be in touch with the Imam. So now Imam has in his mind that he has to prepare the Shia for this new period which is coming up, this period of ghaibah. So what is he doing? He's preparing them by making the Quran important for them, by allowing them to know that after a point where you don't have access to the Imam, where do you go? You turn to the Quran. And when he gives these lessons, when he gives this tafsir, one of the most important things he teaches is that he gives us a methodology of how to understand the Quran, how to interpret the Quran, how to live and act according to the Quran. At that time, there were many different interpretations that came up. Some of the interpretations they came up, they would interpret Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a wrong way. They would interpret different stories in a wrong way. But Imam, seeing this need, he established a set of principles. He established a methodology in how do we approach the Quran, how do we read the Quran. That's one of the reasons why, if you compare to other schools of thought, other schools of Islamic thought, you don't find many, within our school of thought, you don't find many bizarre and many weird type of commentaries. Why? Because the Imams, they made sure that the Shia, they abided by a certain set of principles, a certain methodology when interpreting the Quran. One of those principles that Imam, he gave is that when we read the Quran, we have to read the Quran holistically. We have to read the Quran in a manner which is comprehensive. We cannot have only a superficial, a shallow understanding of the Quran. The hadith that says, Al-Quran yufassir Al-Quran, that if you want to understand the Quran, you have to go back to the Quran. In one of the interpretations of this is that this Quran is referring to the Quran and Natiq, to the Ahlul Bayt. But another interpretation of this is that if you want to understand a set of verses, you have to go to another set of verses which are connected to understand that set of verses which you are reading. So the Imam, he imbibed this principle in their minds, that do not take verses in an absolute sense. Do not take verses only for their face value. Refer to other verses which are similar to it and try to come to a complete understanding. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah. This is actually a principle the Quran gives us. The Quran gives us this principle. We recite in the Quran, هُوَ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has brought the book down to you. مِنْهُ آيَاتٌ مُحْكَمَاتٌ, and in that book, مِنْهُ آيَاتٌ مُحْكَمَاتٌ, there are verses which are muhkam, whose meaning is clear, it's unambiguous. هُنَّ أُمُّ الْكِتَابِ, and those verses which meaning is clear, they are the Ummul Kitab, they are the anchors. They are the ones that you have to hold on to. They are the ones that you cannot move away from. You have to refer back to those ones. وَأُخَرْ, and there are another set of verses which are mutashabihat. Those verses which are unclear, those verses which are ambiguous, whose meaning is not clear to us. The Quran gives us this principle. But the Ahlul Bayt, they're there to show us how to implement this. What verses are muhkam, what verses are mutashabih. And this is what in this tafsir, what Imam does, he shows what verses are muhkam, what verses are mutashabih. So that not only do we learn the principle, the Imam, he teaches us how to apply those principles, how to implement those principles. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Salli ala Muhammad wa ala. Imam, he teaches us that there are some verses which are symbolic, there are some verses which are general in their nature, there are verses which refer to, that provoke a certain type of imagery. Not to take it literally, but for a person to take an example. We always hear in the Hawza that al-mithal yuqarrib min al-jiha wa yuba'id min al-jihad. That when the Quran gives an example, or when somebody gives an example, it brings it closer to what the person is explaining from one jiha, from one aspect. But from other aspects, it could cause confusion. So focus on that aspect which is bringing it closer. Don't focus on those aspects which are making the person confused. So the Quran, the Imam, he teaches us when we read the Quran, how do we do this? How do we apply this principle? I'm going to give a couple of examples of how people, they misinterpret the Quran, regardless of what their motives are, regardless of what they're trying to seek, or what are their hidden reasons for doing these type of things. One of the verses that we have in the Quran, it says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He'll forgive all of the sins, jami'a. He'll forgive all of the sins. There's a lot of ta'akid in there. Inna Allah. The word inna is used for ta'akid, for extra emphasis. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive the sins, jami'a, and then all of the sins. Now a person who's reading this verse of the Quran, who doesn't have a very deep understanding of the Quran, will come to this verse of the Quran and think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's going to forgive all of the sins. So what does that mean? I have a free pass. I can go, I can do whatever I want. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, He's guaranteeing that He's going to forgive all the sins. So I can go and do whatever I want to do, and at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He'll forgive me and He cannot hold me accountable. In different du'as, in different traditions we have, when we talk about Allah, Ya man sabiqat rahmatuhu ghadabah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy is greater than His anger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His mercy is permeating, whereas His ghadab is less, that His mercy will overtake His anger. Or we recite every day almost 30 times in our wajib salah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, right? So now the person who reads this thinks that, hey, I'm free to do whatever I want to do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's going to forgive all of these things. And His attributes of Ar-Rahman, the forgiving and the merciful, well, they're all there. However, when you go to some of the other verses of the Quran, they explain what are those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He will never forgive. And that is, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi. That the sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He will never forgive, is shirk. Shirk is one of those sins that will not be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, when we talk about shirk, it's about attributing partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's worse than shirk is actually atheism, to not believe in Allah. And that's completely on a diametrically opposite to Islam. That's the farthest point. Shirk is closer, but atheism and not believing in God is further away. An atheist example is like a baby in the mother's womb who's claiming that he has no mother. A baby who's in the womb of his mother and claims that he has no mother is like the atheist claiming that there is no God. In the sense that every person and every individual, he's surrounded by the mercy of Allah, he's surrounded by the blessings of Allah, but he cannot come to appreciate it. He cannot come to see it. So shirk is one level above that. Atheism is the worst, not believing in Allah, but one level worse than that is shirk. Another verse in the Quran says, وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ. That the majority of believers, mu'min, وَمَا يُؤْمِن, that majority of the believers who come to Islam, who believe in Islam and believe in Allah, إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ, but they still have shirk within them. Majority of the believers, yes, they've become Muslim. Yes, they've become mu'mineen. But despite that, they have some level of shirk within them. They have some trace of shirk within them. And so our entire lives is this process of removing shirk from our hearts, removing those false gods, removing those false deities. أَرَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهُهُ هَوَى. That a person, what does he do? What is another form of shirk? The Quran explains it. أَرَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهُهُ هَوَى. That did you not see the person who takes his desires, who takes his cravings as a ilah, as a god, as a deity? If a person acts upon every desire, if a person acts on every whim, that is shirk right there. Although not a lower level of shirk, but nonetheless, it is a level of shirk. So the verse that we read in the beginning, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا, doesn't include this. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Another series of verses which we can go to and which can be misinterpreted. And it is being misinterpreted even till now. This misinterpretation is there. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He has some physical features, which is called anthropomorphism. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has a hand, He has a face, He has a foot, He has these type of things. Many Muslims believe this till this. If we look at the early mufassirin of the Quran, who do not adhere to the Ahlul Bayt school of thought, we see that many of them, they didn't comment about these type of verses because they knew that they couldn't attribute a physical nature to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But some of the other mufassirin which came, the other mufassirin who came, they took these series of verses from the Quran and they came to this conclusion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has a physical nature. I'll give some examples, and after I give these examples, I'll try to give an explanation for it. وَمَا قَدْرُ اللَّهِ, that the people, they did not give Allah His qadr, they did not give Him His haqq. Haqqa qadrihi. They did not understand Allah the way he should have been understand. وَالْأَرْضَ جَمِيعًا قَبْضَتُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ مَطْوِيَّاتِ بِيَمِينِهِ. That on the day of judgment, what will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? That He will grab and He will take hold of the earth and the heavy of the earth. And the skies, what will He do? The skies will collapse so much that it will all be in His hand. Or another verse in the Quran where it says, Ya Iblis, ma manaka an tasjuda lima khalaqta biyaday. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells shaitan that, what is preventing you from doing sajda when I created you with my own hand? Or perhaps even the most challenging verse. And it is a really challenging verse. And if the other verses we can give it a symbolic meaning, this last verse is even more difficult. And this is the verse which many people who believe in a physical nature of God, they use this verse. That yawma yukshafu an saq. That on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He will reveal His foot. And this is a very challenging verse, that how do we interpret this? If we take these verses in the literal manner, and we understand the literal meaning, then yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a physical form. However, this methodology that the Ahlul Bayt have teach us, the principles which Imam Hassan Askari, he teaches us, is that we have to take a holistic understanding. We have to take a complete understanding of the Quran. We cannot pick and choose the things that we like and the things that we don't like. No, Islam is a message which we have to take it completely. We cannot say that we like this, so we're going to do this, but we don't like this, so we're not going to do that. No, Islam is a package from A to Z. Everything needs to be taken. Some of the other verses in the Quran, what do they say? Laysa kamithlihi shay. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is nothing similar to Him. That you cannot attribute a physical nature to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or we have another series of verses where Bani Israel, they come to Nabi Musa and they ask him that we want to see Allah with our eyes. And the series of verses, a set of verses comes down. They say that you cannot see Allah with your eyes, but if you want to see Allah, go look at the mountains, go look at the skies, look at the ayatullah, go look at the signs of Allah, the symbols of Allah. From that you can understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. But with these physical eyes, you cannot see. You cannot see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what do these phrases mean? That Allah's hand, or Allah's face, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything is in His hand. When we, as an example, we say that for example, that the future is in your hands. When we say the future is in your hands, that means whatever is going to happen in the future is your decision. It's under your power. And you can decide what you want to do. If you want to do something good, you decide that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He does not force you. If you want to do something bad, even that He doesn't force you. And even that He doesn't punish you immediately. He gives you a period of time for you to do istighfar. But when I say that the future is in my hands, or if I say your life is in your hands, it means your life is under your control. No one is coercing you and forcing you to do whatever you should do. If you look at this last verse that says that Yawma yukshaf an saq, and this is a very challenging verse, because how do we explain that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He will reveal His foot? The literal meaning is, yes, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His foot will be revealed. But we've just shown that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have a physical nature. So we have to go to the Ahlul Bayt. How do they explain these type of things? Again, it's so important for us to go to the Ahlul Bayt, because if we do not go to the Ahlul Bayt to understand this, then we get a completely distorted and warped understanding of Allah and religion in its totality. And we can see what happens when a warped and distorted interpretation of religion happens. Then we can see the effects of that happening in Syria, happening in Iraq. All of that is done. Why? Because of a misinterpretation, of a misunderstanding of Islam, because they have deviated from the Ahlul Bayt. Salawatullah Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ali. When we go to the tafsir of the Ahlul Bayt about this verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal His foot, we see that the meaning that they give is that this is a day which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take it very seriously. It's a day which there is no joke. It's a day which is of extremely serious manner. If, for example, we were in this dunya we could play around, we could get distracted from Islam, we could do the different things that we wanted to do. But on the day of judgment, no, that day is extremely serious. That day things are serious and there is no joke. So what this is doing is giving us a very stern warning. But how do we get this meaning from this verse? If you want to understand how we get this meaning from this verse, we have to a little bit go into Arab culture a little bit. And we know most of the Arabs, what do they wear? Even we see some of the kids, they wear these long thobes or these long dishdashas, right? And I just saw just before the majlis started when one of the Taqi Abbas, he wanted to run. What he did was he lifted his dishdasha so he could run. He wanted to come from there to here, so he lifted his dishdasha a little bit and he ran over here. Why? Because whatever he wanted to do here, it was something serious, right? He wanted to get here quickly. There was something here. So what did he do? He lifted his foot. He lifted his dishdasha. So what happened? His foot became a little bit exposed, or his sock became exposed. Similarly, on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that day is so serious, it's a symbolic meaning. It's not a literal meaning where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal His foot. It's to show that on that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take matters extremely seriously. Don't think that that day you can get away with things. Don't think that on that day that the Ahlul Bayt will come in a snap of fingers, you'll be taken into Jannah. No. That day is extremely serious. All of your a'mal will be there in front of you. All of them you'll be interrogated about it. Why did you do this? Why didn't you do this? All of these things, you'll be questioned, you'll be interrogated, you'll be asked about it. So don't take that day a day of joking, the day of play. No, on that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Hakim, Al-Alim, Al-Adil, the one who is just, the one who is wise, the one who is all-knowing, He's going to pass a judgment upon us on that day. So don't take that day as a day of ease, as a day of a joke, as a day which doesn't have much importance. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. We also have an example of this even in English. We say, for example, that, you know what, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to get this done. Now the literal meaning is not that a person they could roll up their sleeves, but the meaning behind it, the symbolic meaning is that they're going to take this very seriously. That they're not going to take this as a joke. They're going to redouble their efforts. They're going to put their focus in it. They're going to concentrate on whatever they're doing, and they're going to act in a very serious manner. And so similarly, the Day of Judgment is like this. So it's very, if you look at the context of the verses, it's clear that it's talking about the Day of Judgment. It's talking about the criminals, that whatever crime they've committed, they're going to see it in front of them. And it also talks about those people who are good, they will see their amal in front of them. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The last example that I want to give of a partial understanding of Islam, and this is something which is gaining a lot of momentum. This is something which is becoming more and more popular, especially among Western scholars who have studied Islam, including the likes of Sayyid Hussein Nasr and other individuals. They're coming to this conclusion of pluralism, that pluralism is this concept that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's allowed multiple religions. He's allowed parallel religions. For example, Christianity is one way of reaching God. Judaism is another way of reaching God. Islam is one way of reaching God. Hinduism is one way of reaching God. That all of these religions, Zoroastrianism, all of these, what are they? They're parallel. Meaning, and they're all moving in that same direction of Allah. And they draw examples like if a person wants to reach the top of a mountain, there's different ways to reach that mountain. And this is something which is gaining a lot of momentum, and it's something which they use verses of the Quran to explain, to defend their position in this. I don't want to get into the motivations of why they're doing this, but I want to just explain that this is not the mainstream Shia movement, this mainstream Shia thought. The mainstream Shia thought is that no, that religions are in a series. That one religion came, and when a new prophet came, then everything which was in that previous religion had become abolished. And when a new prophet came, then that new message of the prophet abolishes and cancels everything which is in the previous prophet's message. For example, when Nabi Nuh came, he brought this religion, and he taught the people how to pray, he taught the people their different concepts that they should believe in. Every messenger, depending on the society and the circumstances, how developed their society was, gave them a message. So when Nabi Nuh came, he gave the people their message. And then after Nabi Nuh, Ibrahim came. When Ibrahim came, Ibrahim's message superseded. It abolished and abrogated everything which Nabi Nuh brought. When Nabi Musa came, that was a new religion. All of the other previous prophets' message has become abolished. Not that it was wrong, but because deviation had come, because changes have happened, because some type of distortion happened. Nabi Musa came. He propagated to his people what Judaism is, how to follow the Torah, how to follow the law. Then Nabi Isa came. When Nabi Isa came, then everything which Nabi Musa taught to the people in terms of their ahkam, in terms of their teachings and their practices, it had all become abolished. And the new religion was Christianity. And when the last prophet came, then everything else, all the other previous religions, they all became abolished. And the last and the final and the eternal religion is the religion of Islam. Salawatu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So this is the mainstream Shia thought, that religions are in a series pattern, that one after another, and the latest one abolishes the previous one. Whereas the pluralists, what do they say? The pluralists, they have this interpretation that no, it's a series, that all of these are reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are reaching the path of salvation. And they use a couple of verses. One of the popular verses that they use is a verse from Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 43. And in this verse, if we look at it from a very superficial manner, we can come to the interpretation that, yeah, pluralism is something which is defended by the Quran, which the Quran talks about it, and it's an opinion which can be correct. The Quran says, وَكَيْفَ يُحَكِّمُونَكَ. The Quran is addressing the Prophet. وَكَيْفَ يُحَكِّمُونَكَ. How are you passing a judgment? Talking to the Prophet. وَإِنْدَهُمُ التَّوْرَةِ. And they have the Torah, the Jews who came to the Prophet. The verse is saying, why are you giving them your hukum? But when they have the Torah, فِيهَا حُكْمُ اللَّهِ. And in the Torah, the hukum of Allah is there, the command of Allah is there. So if you look at this verse, what is this verse saying? It seems as if the verse is saying that Prophet, you don't need to give your hukum to them. Why? Because they have the Torah, and in the Torah, fiha hukmullah, that the hukum of Allah is in there. So why are you going? It's almost as if it's reprimanding the Prophet. That don't go and propagate your religion to them. They already have the book of Musa. They already have the Torah. There's no need for you to go and teach them Islam. There's no need for you to go and give the ahkam of Islam. So when we look at this verse, we can come to the conclusion that, Islam is promoting this idea of pluralism, and it's not like how we said where all the other previous religions are abolished and revoked. How do we reconcile this? How do we understand this? And this is where it's become so important to have the Ahlul Bayt alongside the Quran. If we leave the Ahlul Bayt, we cannot understand the Quran. We have to go back to the tafsir of the Ahlul Bayt and see what are they saying about these set of verses which cause confusion to many people. Those who don't have the Ahlul Bayt, they will always be in confusion. But us who read the Quran along with the Ahlul Bayt, will always be in that clear path of Siratul Mustaqim. Salawatullah Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam al-Baqir, salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There's a hadith which is narrated from him where he talks about this verse, where he's giving the tafsir of this verse. And it's a sha'n al-nuzul, the circumstances of revelation. And this is that one of the reputable individuals among the Jews of Khaybar, what this person did was he went and he committed adultery with another married person. And because both of these individuals, they were reputable, they were well known, they were prominent individuals and personalities in their society, the rabbis of the time, they didn't want to give the punishment, the capital punishment which was there, which was the hukum of stoning. It was in the Torah. In the Quran, the hukum of stoning is not. We don't have that in hadith. But in the Torah itself says that any person who is married and commits adultery with another married person, then the punishment of that is stoning. And it's very clear. It's still there even till now. But the rabbis who were there, they thought that these people who are prominent individuals, they thought these people who are reputable, how can we pass these judgments against them? That these people, they're elders of the community, they're well known in the community, we can't pass this judgment. So they were looking for a way out. They were looking for a loophole. What can we do to get them to avoid passing down this hukum to them? And these individuals who committed this crime, they also wanted to present themselves as religious people. They wanted to present themselves as if they were practicing. So they sent a message to their counterparts, to the brothers, to the Jewish brothers who were in Medina. They asked them, go to the Prophet and ask the Prophet that this incident has happened. What is your hukum? What is your religion saying about such an individual? And they were playing a game. The reason they were playing this game is that they were hoping that perhaps there's a lighter punishment. Perhaps there's not something as serious for this, right? Sometimes we also do that too. Sometimes we go around, which marja says this, which marja says that. Like we look for an easy way out, especially when it comes to khums. That this marja, this one he exempts this rule, so we can follow that. We can follow that marja, and we adhere to the fatwa of the marja. So they were doing They were doing the same thing. They were shopping for a fatwa. Which fatwa is more conducive for us? Which fatwa can we work with? And this was a strategy that they were employing. And they were hoping that the Prophet would follow in this strategy. They were hoping that if we come to the Prophet and we explain to him the situation, and the Prophet knows the Jews at that time, that they were financially very strong, that they had a lot of allies, and that if Prophet gave a hukum to them, then the Prophet, what could he do? He could make them their allies. Right? So they were playing this game, that's how they presented it to the Prophet. That if you give us a lighter hukum, then we're going to become your allies against the Quraysh. We're going to become your allies against your enemies. So they were playing this trick on, they were trying to play this trick on this Prophet. They were trying to entice him that, if you give us a lighter hukum, then all these people, they also may become Muslim. So they were doing this. So now let's go to the context of the verse. And the verse says that the Jews who believe in their law, that why are they seeking the hukum in their law? That the Quran is not reprimanding the Prophet. It's not questioning the Prophet. The Quran is saying, they already have their law. Why are they coming to you and asking you? It's a huge difference. It makes a huge difference that they had the law, but they're not believers in their own law. And that's not the Prophet is saying. The Quran is saying, وَمَا أُولَٰئِكَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That the Jews who came to you and sought an easier way to get out of that they're not believers in their own books. So Prophet, don't let it grieve you that if they don't come closer to Islam. Don't let it bother you that if you give them the hukum of Islam and they turn away from you, that they're not even believers in their own book. Leave them be, let them go. You don't have to go and try to bring them closer to you. Salawat ala Muhammad wa alayhi Muhammad wa alayhi Muhammad. Please recite one more salawat ala Muhammad wa alayhi. So it becomes so important that we understand the Quran alongside the Ahlul Bayt. It becomes so important that if we detach the Ahlul Bayt from the Quran, we get a distorted interpretation, we get a distorted meaning of the Quran. And this is just one example where without the Ahlul Bayt, a person will be lost. A person will come to a completely wrong interpretation. And this concept of pluralism is something which is gaining a lot of momentum. People are thinking that, scholars are saying that we can follow any religion, so let us follow Christianity, and that leads to a whole new set of problems. But let's look at, this was the Shan and Nuzul. But let's take that concept and that principle of Imam Hassan Askari, where he teaches us that take other verses of the Quran and try to understand what the Quran is saying. Please say, one salawat ala Muhammad wa alayhi. The Quran, in one of the verses, it says, Ya ayyuhan nas, that, O people, Ya ayyuhan nas. The words are important, because who is the Quran speaking to? The audience is all of humanity, all of creation. Inni Rasulullahi ilaykum. That I am the Prophet of Allah to you. Ya ayyuhan nas. Remember the beginning of the verse. O people. That Prophet is saying to them, O people, I am Rasulullah for you, for all of you. And then there's more emphasis on this. Jami'a, all of you. I am the Prophet for all of you. Don't think that I'm a prophet for a certain group of people, that I'm the prophet of the Arabs, I'm a prophet for a certain locality. No, I am a prophet for all of Nas, all of humanity, all of creation. فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ. So believe in Allah, وَرَسُولِهِ, and believe in His Prophet. Oh, again, audience is important. That the Prophet is talking to all of mankind. Ya ayyuhan nas, inni Rasulullahi ilaykum jami'a. That I am the Prophet to all of you. فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ. So believe in Allah and believe in me. وَاتَّبَعُوهُ. And follow me and act upon what I'm trying to teach you, what I'm trying to get across to you. So if we take this verse and compare it to the previous verse, we see that there is a different meaning which comes out. There's another verse which says, وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ بِالْحَقِّ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we have revealed the book in truth to you. مُصَدِّقًا. That this book which has been revealed to you, it confirms some of the other things which are in the previous religions. The core of every religion was the same. The core of every religion was Tawheed. And that's something which did not change from any prophet, from any religion, from any message. But some of the smaller issues, the juz'iyat, they can change. The way of worshipping or the way of fasting. Jews, they also had fasting. The Christians, they also had fasting and they had praying. So the smaller issues, those can change over time. So the Quran calls itself, the book is musaddiq. It confirms what the previous books have said. Another interpretation of this verse, that it says musaddiq, that it confirms the prophecies which were in their book. Because in the previous books, they said that there will be another prophet which comes and his name will be Ahmad. So the Prophet, you are confirming that prophecy which is in their books. But the important point, it says, لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَمُحَيْمِنًا عَلَيْهِ. The word muhaymin, that's very important to understand. Because if you understand what the verse muhaymin means, it means the Quran is a book which supersedes all of the other books. It's a book which comes and revokes the message of all of the other previous messengers and all of the other previous prophets. That the Quran is a book which abrogates everything else, and this is the final word and the final verdict of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Again, let's take another verse. So we have to take all of these verses in context to understand that first verse. Even in that first verse where the Jews, when they came, كَيْفَ يُحَكِّمُونَكَ وَعِنْدَهُمُ التَّوْرَاةُ, that we could, let's say we didn't have the Sha'n al-Nuzul. Say that we didn't have the hadith from Imam al-Baqir. Let's look at it in context with these other verses. This other verse, it says, الَّذِينَ يَتَّبِعُونَ الرَّسُولَ. That those who follow the Prophet, that those who believe in the Prophet, الَّذِينَ يَجِدُونَهُ مَكْتُوبًا. And the last Prophet, his prophecy was given in their books. فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِهِ. And so those who believe in the Prophet, وَعَزَّرُوهُ, and who honor him, وَنَصَرُوهُ, and who help him and assist him, وَاتَّبَعُوا النُّورَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ مَعَهُ, and they follow the light which the Prophet has brought down in the Quran, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. That they are the ones who are truly successful. That the only way to reach success, the only way to reach victory, the only way to come to a positive end is through following the Prophet, and everyone else is among the khasireen. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And so it becomes of utmost importance that we understand the Quran in a holistic manner. We understand the Quran with other verses of the Quran, that we don't take one verse, that we don't pick and choose a verse and just fly with it. No, we understand that verse and we refer to the other verses so that we can come to a complete understanding. And this was the role of the Ahlul Bayt. The role of the Ahlul Bayt was to teach the people the true meaning of the Quran. One of the titles that they had is Tarjumanul Kitab, that they are Tarjumanul Wahi, that they are the conveyors of Wahi. Wahi refers to the Quran, that they're the ones who allow you to understand what is the Quran talking about, what is the Quran calling to. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. So without the Ahlul Bayt, we cannot understand the Quran. If we cannot understand Quran, then we cannot understand Islam. If we cannot understand Allah, we cannot understand. If we cannot understand the Quran, then we cannot understand Allah. If we cannot understand Allah, then we don't understand our creation. We don't understand our existence. We don't understand why we are here. So it's important that in all of these steps that we have the Ahlul Bayt along with us. And this is what Imam Askari did. He taught us those principles. He taught us the methodology in interacting with the Quran, in understanding and reading the Quran. Imam Askari, despite all of the hardships and the house arrest which he was under, Imam Askari would long to be among his Shias. He would yearn that, what can I do that I can still be in the presence of my Shias and of my followers? So much so that he would go and he would tell some of his followers that في ستة مئتين وستين, that in the year 260 after Hijri, something will happen. Imam is referring to his death, but how is he referring to his death? He says, نفترق شيعتي, that we the Ahlul Bayt, we're going to lose our Shia. Imam doesn't say you are going to become detached from the Shia. Imam says, no, we the Ahlul Bayt, we're becoming detached from you. We're becoming farther away from you. You won't have access to us. The role of the Ahlul Bayt is like a father. Right? When we look at some of the hadith, this hadith from the Prophet that says that the mu'mineen, how are they? The mu'mineen are like yatim al Muhammad. That the mu'mineen are called the yatim of al Muhammad. That they are like the ones who are the orphans of Muhammad. Now for a father to leave that child, how difficult it is. This is what Imam Askari is feeling within him. He's feeling as if he's leaving his children, meaning the Shia community, the Shia believers, the Shia followers. He's getting detached for them. For him, it is more difficult than us. When we recite أَمَّا يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He answers the one who is mudtar, who is distressed. Who is the one who is distressed? It is not us. We don't cry for our Imam. So many days pass, we don't even remember our Imam. But the Imam, he is the one who is mustar. He is the one who is in distress, that he cannot reach us, that he cannot access us, that he wants to guide us, because his role is a role of guidance. His role is a role of bringing us down the path of Siratul Mustaqim. But because of us ourselves, because of our flaws, the Imam cannot access us. The Imam, he cannot reach us. One of the companions, when he heard this from the Imam, that he's saying that he's going to depart this world, he began to weep, he began to cry. Imam says, La Buddha li min waqui amrillah fala tadzai. He says, do not worry, do not cry. This is the command of Allah, and it will most definitely happen. But he consoles his person. He says, my du'as are going to be with you. I'm going to remember you. You may forget us, but we will look at you. We will do dua for you. We will mention your names in our munajat. We will remember you in that alamul barzakh. This Imam, he was only 28 years old. And for the majority of his life, he was put under house arrest. His father, Imam Naqi, was also put under house arrest. But Imam, he never neglected his responsibilities. Imam never moved away from the Shia. He would long to go towards the Shia. He would do whatever he can to bring them closer to him. He would do whatever he can to congregate them, to teach them what are the true teachings of Islam. But the Abbasids, they felt the danger from the Imam. They knew that the Imam, his figure and his personality was so powerful that people would go and be attracted to the Imam. They would go and they would learn from the Imam. That regardless of whether they were believers in the Ahlul Bayt or they didn't believe in the Ahlul Bayt, every person would go to the Imam and try to get some of the nur. Imam Askari, he was born in Medina, but he was forced to go to Samarra, and never was he able to return back to Medina, to the city of his grandfather Rasulullah. The enemies, they feel that if they allowed him to go back to Medina, then he would gain more popularity. And if he would gain more popularity, then it would result in a threat to their government. In the year 260, Mu'tamid, the Abbasid Caliph, he gives the Imam some poison fruit. But this poison, it was so powerful that it took several days for the Imam to get sick. When we look in history, and we hear that the poison that Imam Hassan, the second Imam, was given, that poison was so potent, that poison was so powerful that within moments, Imam Hassan started coughing up blood. He started getting sick. The effect of that poison took place immediately. But the poison which was given to Imam Hassan al-Askari, it took several days. In some accounts, it took him 7 days. That day by day, Imam is getting weaker. Day by day, his health is deteriorating. Day by day, his strength is less. Day by day, his health is debilitating. Imam Askari, in these last days of his life, he's in excruciating pain. Now let us remember that yatim boy. Who is that boy? That 5-year-old son of Imam Mahdi. That 5-year-old son of Imam Hassan Askari, Imam al-Mahdi. He couldn't come to his father's aid, and Imam told him that, my son, stay away from him. Imam Askari, on those last moments of his life, he calls his servant, he summons his servant, he tells his servant, come to me. He says, I am feeling thirsty. Go get me some water so my thirst can be quenched. The servant comes with a little bit of water. He comes with the water and he presents it to Imam Hassan Askari. Imam Hassan Askari, he takes it to his lips. But before the cup can touch his lips, the Imam's soul has departed his body. This is the grandchild of Imam Hussein. It is not surprising that if Imam Hussein was martyr thirsty, then Imam Hassan Askari is also martyr thirsty. It's not surprising that if the great-grandfather of Imam Mahdi was killed in Kerbala and thirsty, that his own father is killed in his home thirsty. Because to die thirsty is an adat, is a sirat, is the custom of those who are killed in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Caliph Mu'tamid, he wanted to hide his crime. He didn't want the people to know that he was responsible for the killing of Imam. So he comes and he sends doctors to Imam Hassan Askari's home. And these doctors, they would do nothing. And then once eventually Imam Hassan Askari passed away, the Salat al-Janaza, Mu'tamid, he comes and he's a part of that Salat al-Janaza. The brother of Imam Hassan Askari comes, his name was Jafar, he comes forward to lead the Salat al-Janaza. When this boy, yatim boy of 5 years of age, he comes out from the home and he tells his uncle, move aside, only a masoom can recite the Salat on a masoom. Imam Mahdi, this 5-year-old boy, comes and he recites Salat al-Janaza on his father. The boy, after the Salat al-Janaza, he went inside the home, but Mu'tamid goes and he searches for him to capture the boy, but the boy was not seen. Imam Askari was then buried in his own home where Imam Naqi was buried. Our condolences go to you, Ya Sahib al-Zaman, on the death of your father. We know, O Sahib al-Zaman, to live a life of being yatim, to be an orphan is one of the most difficult things. We know that this is one of the greatest human tragedies. For a child to bid farewell to his father, a child to become orphan is extremely difficult. But let us remember another child in Kerbala who lost her father and also became an orphan. But her father was not poisoned in his home. Her father, Imam Hussein, was killed in the plain of Kerbala. Her father, there were spears thrown at him. There were arrows that were shot at him. There were rocks which were pelted at him. Sakina not only had to watch this crime against her father, but she had to watch the killing of her uncles. She had to watch the killing of her brothers. She had to watch the killing of her cousins. But this was not enough for Sakina. What they did to Sakina, what they made her watch, was that after everyone was killed, they trampled the bodies with the horses. But even this was not enough. This was not enough torture. They took the enemies, removed the heads of the loved ones of Ahlul Bayt and put them on spears. And as the caravan was moving from Kerbala to Kufa to Sham, they would see the heads of their loved ones. Sakina had to witness all of this. Even after her death, she is not free. She becomes a captive. She is put in prison. When she is taken into Damascus, she sees her father in her dream. Imam says to her, Ya Sakina, my daughter, come to me. It has been too long that you have been away from me. She wakes up and she cries. She cries and cries, and the news reached the palace of Yazid that Sakina wants the head of her father. They send the head of Imam Hussein to Sakina. Sakina sees her father's head. She takes the father's head and puts it to her chest. She cries out, Ya Abata, my father, tell me, why is your face has become red with your blood? Who has done this crime to you? Ya Abata, oh my father, who has cut the veins of your neck? Who has detached your body? Who has detached your head from your body? Ya Abata, oh my father, who has made me a team at such an age? The whole night cries, and Sakina is crying. It reaches a point where there's no more noise from Sakina. The ladies, they think that Sakina has finally has fallen asleep. Imam Sajjad comes to her. He puts his hand on her and he says, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. When the women folk of Ahlul Bayt, when they were finally leaving Damascus, Bibi Zainab, she comes to Imam Sajjad. She says, my Imam, let me go to the dungeon, let me go to the prison and give my last ziyarah to Sakina. Zainab comes to the grave of Sakina. She said, Sakina, how much you wanted to go back to Medina? How much you wanted to go to see your family? How much you wanted to go and see the grave of your grandfather? Sakina, we are now going towards Medina. But Sakina, where are you? We are finally leaving towards our grandfather's city. We are going home, Sakina. But Sakina, you are staying back in Sham, in the prison of Sham. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. Oh Allah, we ask you that these 2 months of us crying for Imam al-Hussein, that you give us the strength and you give us the energy to transform our lives. Oh Allah, we ask you that whatever wrongs that we have done, that you forgive us. Oh Allah, we ask you to forgive our sins, the sins of our parents, of our grandparents. We ask you, oh Allah, to preserve this azah in our next generation. We ask you, oh Allah, to keep us alive till next year so we can shed more tears on Imam al-Hussein. We ask you, oh Allah, that you give us the strength to be among the followers of Imam al-Mahdi. We ask you, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you give us the opportunity to serve you and to serve your religion. We ask you, O Allah, that the Ahlul Bayt are pleased with our azah, that they accept our condolences, that Rasulullah accepts our condolences, that Lady Fatima Zahra, she accepts our pursa, that Imam Ali, he accepts our condolences, and Imam Hassan. We ask you, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to make our actions such that we can be counted among the followers and the lovers of Imam al-Mahdi, ajjallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein.
روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کے اداسی سی چھائی ہے کلبے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے رو کر پکاری نانا میں فریاد لائی ہوں میں چھوڑ کر حسین کو جنگل میں آئی ہوں روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کے اداسی سی چھائی ہے کنبے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کے اشاد آئی ہے نانا جی سانا یہ پر گزر گئے رنجو علم نگہ لیا ہم جدر گئے نانا خدا کی گھر میں نہ ہم کو اما ملی بھائی نے شہر چھوڑ کے جنگل کی راہ لی روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کنبے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے نانا ہمارے گھر کا سب اسباب لٹ گیا نانا ہمارے سر پہ نہ باقی رہی ردا نانا ہزار طرح جفا کی لائنوں نے خیموں میں ہائی آگ لگا دی لائنوں نے روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کے اداسی سی چھائی ہے کنبے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے نانا شہید ہو گئے بھائی کے جان ساتھ ایک ایک کر کے مر گئے اصحاب زیوکار نانا بلا کے بن میں قیامت کرن پڑا بھائی سے بھائی باپ سے بیٹا بچھڑ گیا روزے پہ مصطفیٰ بے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے نانا زمین گرم و بلا لال ہو گئی قاسم کی لاش گوروں سے پامال ہو گئی نانا کٹا کے شانوں کو عباس مر گئے غربت میں بھائی جان کو بے آس کر گئے روزے پہ مصطفیٰ زینب ناشاد آئی ہے نانا اسیر بھارت ہے اور ایک تیر حسن باندھے گا یہ تک اس میں گناہگار کا ستن نانا ہم اپنے حال پہ روتے تھے بار بار نانا ہمارے حال پہ ہنستے تھے بشیار روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کے اداسی سی چھائی ہے کنبے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے نانا تباہ ہو کے ہم آئے شان سے ایک داغ نو سکینہ کل آئے شان سے اب تک ہے نیل رسی کے شانوں کو دیکھ لو نانا ہمارے تن پہ نشانوں کو دیکھ لو روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کی اداسی سی چھائی ہے، کنڈے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے، روزے پہ مصطفیٰ کے اداسی سی چھائی ہے، کنڈے کو کھو کے زینب ناشاد آئی ہے۔
بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو خیال آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو خیال آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو خیال آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، عابد کو یوں رونے کا سبب کیا ہے جب بھی کوئی دہراتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو خیال آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، دروں کی اذیت پر رویا نہ اپنے اسیری پر رویا، میلوں پہ دل کانٹوں پہ چلا، ظالم سے گلا نہ میں نے کیا، لیکن بازار کا وہ منظر جب یاد کبھی آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو خیال آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، ہم سر جھکائے جاتے تھے وہ مارتے تھے پتھر ہم کو، میں خون جرونا کیا کرتا، اب تم خود ہی انصاف کرو، کیا نبی گوئے لوگوں باقی کوئی بلواتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو خیال آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، عابد کو خون، جب بچہ باپ سے ملنے کی خاطر روئے اور چپ نہ کرے، جن کے بچے ہیں سینوں پر وہ ہاتھ رکھے اور اتنا کہے، کیا باپ کا سر بیٹی کے لیے زندہ میں کوئی بچھواتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو آ جاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا ہے، میں بھول نہیں ہوں آج تلک وہ شام علم، وہ شام جفا، جن خیموں میں وہ اہل حرم، کیا وہ کعبے سے کم ہے بھلا، بتلاؤ مجھے ان خیموں کو، کیا کوئی آگ لگاتا ہے، عابد کو خون رلاتا، بازار میں جب زینب کی رضا کا اس کو خیال آ جاتا
बचना कभी देखा था, रो रही है वो गुनाहगारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। कौन जाने कि ये है कौन रसन पहने हुए, कौन जाने कि ये है कौन रसन पहने हुए। मेरे दारोती है सज्जाद के पीछे छुप के, सिस्कियाँ डूबी है जिस बीबी की। हाय जंजीरों की झनकारों में आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। हाय ज़हरा तेरी किस्मत ना मिला हक तुझको, हाय ज़हरा तेरी किस्मत ना मिला हक तुझको। ऐसी ताज़ीम तेरी की है मुसलमानों ने, तेरा हक मांगने आई ज़ैनब एक मैनोश के दरबारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। कहाँ ज़ैनब और कहाँ शाम के लोगों का हजूम, कहाँ ज़ैनब और कहाँ शाम के लोगों का हजूम। सरवरेदा ऊंची आवाज में खुतबे पढ़ना, कत्ले मुरसल का हवाला देकर चादरे मांगना बदकारों में। गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आ गई बिन्ते अली तेरे दाहात बंधे हर बाजारों में। आग खेमों को लगी औरत सजाद बेहोश, आग खेमों को लगी औरत सजाद बेहोश। रो रो अब्बास को देती थी सदाए ज़ैनब, लूट लो चादर से रानियों की। शोर बर्पा था सितमगारों में। गई बिन्ते अली आहा सूरज ना कभी देखा था, रो रही है वो गुनाहगारों में, आ गई बिन्ते अली।
मौला हक इमाम या हसन या हुसैन, मौला हक इमाम या हसन या हुसैन, मौला हक इमाम या हसन या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन। ख्वाब में बीमार था, ख्वाब में बीमार था, चलने से जो लाचार था, चलने से जो लाचार था, और शाम का नागार था, और मुस्तफा की बेटियां। मौला हक इमाम या हसन या हुसैन, मौला हक इमाम या हसन या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन। वो असग़र बेशील था, वो असग़र बेशील था, और हरमला का तीर था, और हरमला का तीर था। नन्हा गला क्यों कर चुका, लम्बी ज़मीं और आसमां। मौला हक इमाम या हसन या हुसैन, मौला हक इमाम या हसन या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन। शबीर की वो लाडली, शबीर की वो लाडली, शबीर की वो लाडली, शबीर की वो लाडली। सीने पे जोश है खलबली, सीने पे जोश है खलबली। सल्लल्लाहु अलैका या रसूल अल्लाह, सल्लल्लाहु अलैका या हबीब अल्लाह, सल्लल्लाहु अलैका या खातिम अल-अंबिया व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुह। अस्सलामु अलैका या अली या अमीर अल-मोमिनीन, अस्सलामु अलैकी या फातिमा ज़हरा सय्यदती निसाء العالمين। السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى وارث أمير المؤمنين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت، وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله الآخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبو الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين، وقاسم ابن الحسن ومسلم ابن عقيل وهاني ابن أروى وحبيب ابن مظاهر وحور ابن يزيد الرياحي. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم أئمة المسلمين، علي ابن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر ابن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي ابن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي ابن محمد الحسن ابن علي والحجة القائم ابن الحسن المهدي. يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان. أسألك يا سيدي الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان وشر الشيطان. عاجل الله تعالى فرجاك وسهل مخرجاك وضحولك، واجعلنا من صالك وأعوانك المسلسلين بين يديك ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم قل وليك خشف الحسن تلواتك عليهم وعلى آبائهم في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه بها طويلا برحمتك أرحم الراحمين.
جتنے پاک کا صدقہ اس قوم کا دامن غم شبیر سے بھر دے، بچوں کا عطا کر علی اصغر کا تبسم، بوڑھوں کو حبیب ابن مظاہر کی نظر دے، کم سن کو ملائے والولائے آن محمد، ہر ایک جوان کو علی اکبر کا ذکر دے، ماں کو سکا ثانیہ زہرا کا سلیقہ، بہنوں کو سکینہ کی دعا کا اثر دے. مولا تجھے زینب کی اسیری کی قسم ہے، بے جرم اسیروں کو رہائی کی خبر دے، جو چادر زینب کے زار مولا محفوظ رہے ایسے خواتین کے پردے، جو دین کے کام آئے وہ اولاد عطا کر، جو مجلس شبیر کی خاطر ہم کر دے، مفلس فضل لال و جواہر کی بارش مخروض کا ہر قرض ادا غیب سے کر دے. غم کوئی نہ دے ہم کو سوائے غم شبیر، غم کوئی نہ دے ہم کو سوائے غم شبیر، شبیر کا غم بانٹ رہا ہے تو ادھر دے.
نعرہ حیدری. سبحان اللہ والحمد للہ ولا الہ الا اللہ واللہ اکبر. اللہ